Chapter 877, Sweet Meat That's Fun to Treat and On My Feet. Fuck you! Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Podcast. I am the best guy ever, and here is Hippocrit.
That's right. Don't wear it out. My name, that is.
And today we're talking about Chapter 877, I'm Not That Shit. Oh, wait, I misread it to comedic effect. It's I'm Not That Sweet.
Sweet
Hashtag
dog.
illiteracy. Yeah, it was pretty sweet. Let's get right to it. Let's start with this cover chapter, continuing our Straw Hat Pirate Fleet crew guys.
So we got Long Torso McGee and his, I guess, betrothed. I don't know who this big chin woman is.
Big twist, everybody. He had a fiance all along, despite Baby Five getting that sweet dick. What do you know about that?
She is. She's right there, hanging onto his elbow. She's looking at her.
All right, everyone should keep in mind, okay? I know One Piece is a silly series for silly individuals such as myself, but let us not forget that Baby Five was raised from, babyhood, from childhood, in Doflamingo's team, in his crew, and she has borne witness and no doubt been an accomplice to, innumerable travesties and crimes against humanity, including human trafficking, slavery, stealing a kingdom from the rightful king, tormenting people. She's seen it all, and she doesn't give a fuck. We're supposed to ignore that with Baby Five, be like, oh, she's cute, so it's okay. That's just kind of the Oda modus operandi and a lot of manga. Because they're cute girls, we can forget all their crimes. I'm just saying.
Operandi.
Let's not forget. Modus operandi. Oh, that's good. You know what? I forgive Baby Five now. You're right. It's all, never mind. Ignore my points. But hey, Sai, you're cruising for a bruise. You got a big old bitch right here. You think Baby Five's just going to beat her up? Is that going to happen?
Yeah, what? I mean, it's funny that he got this far, right next to her, before...
Yeah.
She has no idea. What is he? How's he? He's barely sweating. He doesn't even know what's going to happen.
Yeah, he's barely. I love that this girl is flaunting her stuff. And don't get me wrong. I love me some thick, muscly women like this one. Not thick as in fat. I hate fat women. I love muscly women. Let's clarify that right now. This woman has weaponized her thickness. This is what I was talking about, everybody. Let's not confuse the issue. Not like Alvida in Chapter 1. But okay. But so she's looking at Sai, sees this little twink-ass bitch hanging on her man, and she is so confident. She is like, this is not a threat to me. I am not concerned. I rule the stage with these biceps and these thick-ass quads, and no skinny twink bitch is going to take my man. And I hope that turns out to be true, because frankly, I dislike Baby Five as a person because she is so easily... I know I'm getting too real about this, but as a guy who has sensitivities in his male-female relationships throughout his life, any woman who so quickly just hops between cock... She's on that cock carousel. That's all I'm saying, everybody. Baby Five is definitely on the cock carousel. How long until she betrays Sai as well? So there's your red pill, everybody. I want to see Baby Five, this trifling hoe, get stomped.
How long until Baby Five hops cocks onto Uholicia or whatever her name is? Because she's definitely got one. Makes too much sense. She's dude. It's like Captain Quark with that chin.
Yeah, she is. One Piece is full of crazy body types. I can you know what she looks like? She looks like, remember Miss Monday? Remember her from Whiskey Peak way back in the day?
Oh,
remember her?
I vaguely do. Was she, muscular and fat? Was that?
No, she wasn't fat at all. She was just super ripped, like super duper ripped, muscly. She had big old tits, as I recall. I think.
I can't remember it.
All I'm saying is, please beat up Baby Five. That's what I want. Baby Five is gay and shit. Okay, let's move on.
Move the fuck up. Oh my god.
Oh, right. It's the image again?
Yeah.
The image?
Okay,
we have to put this up on screen. There's no way around it.
All right. You're editing it, so you got to remember. But
I have to do
this is the worst.
It is the absolute worst. I've seen a lot of shitty fan art over the years, but I've got to say, this really takes the cake for, profoundly unacceptable as to what you should bombard, all the innumerable readers, I'm using that word a lot today, who come to read One Piece here, this is the Luffy face you present us with. Like, get your shit together. I don't...
He's got, like,
Look,
hard-boiled egg bug eyes.
He does. Look, I don't care that your bisexual girlfriend has a DeviantArt, runners of Manga Stream, editors of this chapter, and you really want her special artwork to get out there and be celebrated. I don't give a fuck. This is terrible. Do not show me this in the future. I don't want to see it anymore. And if you have to put it in, at least put it at the end of the chapter. Don't interrupt my reading of One Piece with this fucking bullshit. I know you want me to see it. You want to celebrate fan art in the community. This is unacceptably shit. It's the only good thing about it is it does make me laugh. It makes me laugh with the sheer incompetence that is on display.
I love how the mouth is sort of like wobbly and not sure about itself.
What is with the fucking mouth? Like, Luffy would never make
really
this expression. Luffy, it's the Tumblr-y kind of nose. Luffy would never make this fucking expression in his life. Like, okay, I kind of like the defocused hands in the super foreground and background there.
No, don't start critiquing the art. It's just funny.
Yeah.
It's fucking funny. All right.
It's so fucking funny. Yeah, it really is. It qualifies.
Moving the fuck on to the actual chapter. We've spent there's too much head on this show.
You're right. You're absolutely right. Let's get to it.
All right. So, there's a bunch of guys. I don't actually... Oh, no, they're coming out of the mirror world. That's right.
They're piling out of Nami's famous mirror that they wanted to shatter last week, but they didn't get to.
Yes, and unfortunately, Chopper and Brook have been incapacitated, and there is no fight with them. Which confirms my suspicion that there wasn't really much time for them to have a fight. But it's unfortunate nonetheless to see it just...
They could have made time.
Yeah. What do you think about this?
It's very sad. I don't care for it. And you know what happens at the end of this. I mean, maybe they're just skipping this entirely. But someone has to beat up Prospero. I know how Shonen works, and I know Prospero is now cruising for a bruising from someone here. Like, Prospero versus Brook sounds like a badass, dope fight. I want to see that. And I know Prospero has like a 700 million berry bounty that he says later on, but Brook's cool. I think Brook could beat that twink if he catches him by surprise or whatever. You know, it's not outside the realm of possibility.
The thing I was always thinking of was Brook has ice powers that it could, and the candy is sticky. You can shatter that candy with stuff. But you know, I guess it's not to be. I don't think Brook is going to do anything else.
I got to tell you my worst fear. My worst fear is that at the end of this chapter, or you know, after Brook and Chopper are really capacitated, Jinbei shows up next to them. Do not give Jinbei this fight. Do not give Jinbei the fight against Prospero. I fucking hate Jinbei. I don't want to see him anymore, all right? Let's not pander to these fucking Jinbei fags anymore. Let's move on with our lives. Jinbei is old news. He's trash. There you go. I know. I'm taking up to 11 here. I don't actually feel that strongly, but I feel very sad at the idea of Brook being robbed of a fight to give fucking Jinbei a fight. I don't give a fuck about Jinbei. I give a fuck about Brook.
I don't see that happening, just because that doesn't seem like what they were going for. Because it looks like Jinbei is just going to be manning the ship, and then Luffy does something with a weird firepower that burns through the candy.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
I don't know what Luffy's gonna... Well, we'll get to that. But
we're
for
going
now,
out of order here anyway.
Chopper's... I mean, it's a pretty cool power what he's doing. He's filling every orifice with candy and crystallizing inside him like, oh,
it's
God.
Actually, it's very similar to Mr. Three's candle thing, where he turned these guys into living wax statues.
Yeah,
that was pretty cool.
That required like a huge setup and a big showman sort of like, look at my funny thing doing this thing.
You're right. Though Prospero's power here is just, in general, very similar to Mr. Three's. Just control over this, like, goopy substance that hardens and is deadly. He's kind of just like a powered-up version of that guy. Only Candy is slightly less cool than Candles. Because Candles, I always thought it was cool that Mr. Three's power wasn't just, like, wax, and so he, like, identifies as a candle. It's like, no, it's specifically Candles in that his head lights on fire when he uses his power, which I always thought was really cool.
Yeah. I like the idea of powers based on, like, man-made objects.
Me too. Like, obviously, it doesn't make sense in terms of, like, nature providing it, but that doesn't matter. This is One Piece, and it's great, and I love it.
Yeah.
Like, remember, like, Bluno's door fruit? I always thought that was, like, one of the most extremes. Like, okay, doors don't exist in nature. How does, like, a fruit know what a door is and, like, define that in terms of Bluno? And, of course, Bluno's got all kinds of crazy powers, like that air door thing that he eventually did. He can just access, like, another dimension. Okay,
Pretty
but
sick.
never mind. Let's...
I always thought it was cool, especially when he put it on Luffy's face.
Like, he can turn your own head into a door. Very interesting.
Well,
yeah, that's
I
good
mean,
shit. It's good shit.
If you think about it, like, Law's fruit is...
Yeah.
It's just, like, switching things around, and then Bluno's, like, switching, like a particle, like a surface, turning it into a thing that hinges into another dimension. Like, I think if it is just, like, a devil fruit, and then people wrote down what it is, like, by observing it, they probably would have just called it a door because of the way it acts.
Okay, I hear you on that. I hear you on what you're saying there. But, like, with Law's fruit, for example, Law's fruit, the Ope Ope no Mi, aka the OP no Mi, oh, got him, is... That is, like, clearly... So that obviously stands, like, Ope Ope stands for, like, operation or operation or whatever. Like, it's just, like, the doctor/medical devil fruit as defined by, like, what we as human society, like, view as what happens, like, on an operating table or in an operating room. Because, like, he's got powers like room, where he establishes, like, his operating room, and then he's got, like, I was actually just reading his powers again today. Gamma knife, which is, like, a type of medical device that's used to, like, slice using gamma rays or something. He's got, like, injection shot, where he can, like, shoot an injection thing. He's got, obviously, mess, where he can scoop out your heart and shit. He's got shambles. It's just... Everything that happens in his room is, like, defined by, like, what we as human culture understand to be, like, operating room type powers and, like, operating room type things. And I got no problem with that. I think it's really cool that, like, powers of a fruit are grouped in such, like, a weird, loosely defined kind of way that still, to anyone who knows, like, human society, it does kind of make sense what the theme is between those. So... But the only thing is, like, that doesn't exist in nature, obviously, in any way. That's, like, a thing that mankind has come up with, and there's devil fruits that represent that, and I just think that's super cool. I really like that super level of complexity to these powers in these hyper-specific ways. It just shows imagination, you know? And I was just actually saying to you before the show that, like, something like Boku no Hero Academia, like, that show... is way more basic with the types of powers. And to be fair, One Piece has had decades to work on this shit. To, like, you know, you could say that it's gotten to the bottom of the barrel, so he has to make up, like, really crazy powers. But I think it's more that Oda has become interested in more weird, diverse types of powers.
I don't know whether it's become like that. I think he's just creative. Mm-hmm. Like, the main character is made of rubber. Like, that's already pretty weird.
You know, the rubber one definitely stands out as an obviously crazy, out there idea. And so having Luffy there from the start definitely shows, like, that imaginative streak, which I love and is great. But, you know, I just noticed a pattern that for a long time in the beginning of One Piece, all the fruits were pretty fundamental. You know, just the ideas of, like, all the crazy ideas are generally, like, special types of paramecia fruits, as opposed to, like, you know, like the Zoans, you're just animals. That's not that interesting. Except for the ones like Marco, who again, come way later and are, like, magical Zoans. He's a literal phoenix, which has all these other powers. And then you've got, of course, the Logias. The Logias might be the most boring type overall, in the sense that they are just, I'm fire. I'm just fire. That's what I am. Or I'm smoke. You know, et cetera, et cetera. And then you got, of course, Blackbeard, who's got, like, the one special type of Logia. But in general, like, you know what you got when you got a Logia, for the most part. But what's cool is when you've got characters like Eneru, who use, like, his mantra, a.k.a. his observation haki, in conjunction with his electric fruit to, like, he uses mantra to detect, like, where human souls are, and then he uses his electromagnetic powers to, like, actually listen in on that exact spot. Now that's a fucking awesome combination. That's, like, classic One Piece. That's what makes One Piece amazing and way more interesting than a lot of shows. So I don't know where I was going with that. One Piece is great. That's my thesis.
It's just our weekly. I love One Piece. I also want to mention that you just casually mentioned you were reading up on Law's powers.
I was.
Do you have an explanation for that, or are you just gay?
Oh, I just love Law in secret. I can't remember why, but I wanted to see what the inside of a devil fruit looked like for some reason today when I was at work and thinking about things more interesting than work. So I was just like, okay, I know someone ate the Ope Ope no Mi. I'm going to Google that. And then I saw it, and I was like, shit, okay. There actually was a picture on the wiki of, like, what the inside's. It's yellow, as it turns out. It's fucking yellow. And then I just saw the list of powers. I'm like, I'll read these. Those are kind of cool. Powers are cool. That's it. That's my explanation.
So, page 2 of One Piece, chapter... fucking...
I just skipped ahead to page 7, because it's pretty much all the stuff we've described so far.
Yeah.
You know, Candy and stuff.
So, yeah, Candy, Brook, and Chopper are fucking dead. They're died.
They're dying, yeah.
And then, what's his... Berserk sees in the forest trees
Katakuri.
being flung. And he says, "Oh, look, here comes Mama," and Mama is still in the text boxes.
I think they actually said, "Whoa, Mama," as I recall. Yes, good. I just wanted to make that incredible joke. Yes,
it was a joke.
On. No.
Just wanted to say, she's still saying "weed." Ding.
She sure is, dude.
And
weed,
I
ding.
really like that. I hope that's all she says from now on.
Me too.
So, fucking, they're here.
She is.
They're fucking here. They're all here. And Berserk says, "Go back in the mirror world, cause Luffy's strong, and I like him. He's my best friend. He's my boyfriend. I love Luffy. He's a strong opponent. Everybody get out of here. We're gonna fight."
He's using his little bit of future sight, and I think what he's doing is predicting some Conqueror's hockey shenanigans, since he says you'll all be collapsed. I guess he could have just beat him up, but in any case, they're all the weaklings are skedaddling right after showing up, very inconveniently.
Yeah, and then Prospero makes a big candy maiden, which is amazing, and I love the way this design.
So cool.
It's completely, for no reason, so opulent. And I love stuff like that.
Me too. I really fucking love it. I always love the fact that like you know Akainu, or not even Akainu, but actually no, he is a good example. When Akainu does his like lava attack, it's like shaped like a dog because his name is Red Dog, and then you can see like when Aokiji did his like ice attack, which is called like Pheasant Beak. Or something, some really retarded sounding name. He like makes an ice thing shaped like a big old bird. They just make it fancy for our sakes, and it's really cool.
He says, "I choose you, Articuno." That's what he does.
Yeah, he did. Oh, but I love this candy maiden. It's so cool, and it makes Prospero like. Now we're starting to see why this guy's a serious threat. This guy, he knows what he's doing.
He's not just a guy who can lick you to death.
Which he was very focused on that point. How he's going to lick the shit out of you guys.
Yeah, I'm going to turn into candy and I'm going to lick you. And Brook actually looks like a lollipop with all that candy on him, so, you know.
Whoa. That's a good point. He really does.
Hilarious. I like that. And then, I don't know what this is. I think it must be, like, newly introduced right here. Luffy just uses fire.
What? You clown.
Am I
you
stupid?
Absolute monster. Don't you remember Red Hawk? It was first used in Fishman Island when Luffy used it against
Dude, that was 20 years ago. How am I supposed to remember that?
I remember literally everything in One Piece and nothing else. So I remember. Plus, he's used Red Hawk a couple times. It's like his current sort of like most powerful non-digivolved attack. Red Hawk. He makes fire and he punches, and clearly it's like sort of
is it like
sort of thing.
gear second to the like gear second squared or something, like so much friction that it makes fire? I can't remember when it was introduced.
It's kind of a totally separate thing. I mean, all that we saw was that Luffy, he just puts his arm back, he hockeys up, and then he pulls it and makes so much friction as he goes that bam, fire's everywhere. So he's got some fire powers. He's had these for a while.
Okay, I feel like he would have been using it more frequently if it was that cool, but
you gotta save it for the cool moments.
He didn't even use it. He didn't even use it with the Cracker and like all those fighting with all the. I don't know. It's been a while.
Well, to be fair, fire is uniquely appropriate for the situation, and as we know, Luffy is a tactician and knows he knows how to fight good. He knows how to fight good.
He knows how to punch.
He does, and he knows that right now this calls for a big fire punch. And so he did it.
All right. Carrot mentions that Berserk's powers are just like Luffy's, and
I like this a lot. Oh, this is very good.
What do you think? Because I mean, I kind of see it, because he's made of mochi. He stretches, but he's not like as stretchy as rubber. Surely.
Okay,
he's more like.
Everybody, remember the other day when I said how weird it was that that there was special attention put down in like one special encyclopedia book or something that I didn't read that said specifically Katakuri's power was a special paramecia as opposed to a logia, which it had seemed like up to that point. I think what we can infer from this information, first of all, I love the fact that we're dealing with like basically Guts here is like big badass Luffy, as in like grown up, like 10 years older or whatever. Like he is a stretchy boy, and like he's obviously using stretchy powers as well because he is a mochi man. He's got mochi powers. And it seems to me that I think what we can assume that his powers are that like later on in this chapter we can see him sort of take damage the way a Logia would, and he sort of seems to like get holes in his face and shit. I think what we're seeing is that like this man can like mold himself really well, that in a way that looks like a Logia, but he actually, none of his body is actually like being melted or anything in the way like, I don't know, just the way a Logia would. So what we're seeing is like a guy whose main power is his body is mochi. He is a mochi man all the time, but he also clearly has the ability to produce mochi because he like gave all those people at the wedding like little mochi ear puffs so they, so they could hear. So he was just distributing those. So this guy's just got a bunch of powers, and the fact that he's like big, badass, guts-looking Luffy who uses stretchy powers as like the edgy version of what Luffy would be. Oh, I really like it. I think it's really cool. Though honestly, his power is a little confusing still, even for me.
I mean, the fact that Luffy punches him straight through the head and it squishes away.
Like that's just
it
just looks like a Logia thing. It just looks like a Logia.
But it does make sense if like that is just being squished into a thing and it's not actually being removed like or pierced through. It's just being pushed out the way. It's kind of like how Luffy, he has bones that work, but if he wants to, he can blow them full of air and become giant. Yeah. They can bend and stretch. So like, it is kind of similar in that way. But I'm trying to think like if a Mochi Man can make mochi. Can Luffy make like rubber bands? Is that his awakening?
Well, okay.
He makes little rubber bands and he makes elastic and he becomes a fashion icon.
This raises some questions. Okay, so One Piece has been going on an extremely long time now, and Oda has always been extremely ambiguous about, like, putting anything down in stone. So, like, no one has come out and defined for us the exact capabilities of the Gomu Gomu no Mi. Like, no one's ever said, no one's even said that it's, like, definitely a paramecia. Like, we've all kind of assumed that. It is possible that at some point, it could turn out that, like, the Gomu Gomu no Mi is a Logia. Luffy was just using it wrong or something. Or he's some sort of rubber animal, and it was his own, and he was just using it wrong. Like, those things are possible. They would just be really dumb if they were true.
Well, I don't know even why you'd think that. That would be terrible.
Well, that I'm just making up bad examples, But,
well,
like,
I mean...
Things like we're seeing in this chapter, like clearly they have gone out of their way. Oda has gone out of his way to tell us specifically, yes, Katakuri uses a paramecia fruit. This is not a Logia, even though in every possible way it looks like a fucking Logia. I'm telling you, it's not. It's paramecia in special in some way. Is he saying that it's such a special paramecia that it's just a Logia? I don't fucking know. It doesn't. I'm very confused. When Luffy uses this hawk, go on.
Well, I feel like the whole, like, Logia paramecia thing is a bit, it feels like an artificial, like, in-universe artificial, like, distinction between them, because it's like,
sure.
What makes a Logia is that the person literally becomes their element, and they can just, you can, if you're Iceman, you can turn to ice, even if you're smashed, you can just come back.
Is it fair to say that, like...
It's basically like they're basically a class of whatever, like, if Devil Fruits don't have classes, people just look at them and say, well, ones that are like, you can change your body to be a certain way, and ones where you become a thing are slightly different, and we'll define them like that. And then there comes along a few paramecias that are sort of almost Logias, and like, how do you define them? And then people writing the wiki, they're saying, well, I don't know, I don't live in this actual universe, I gotta think of something.
Well, I'm just wondering, in universe of One Piece, I believe it has been described by someone that Luffy has a paramecia fruit. I mean, I guess I don't know that for sure, that ever was actually done, but I'm just thinking that, like, so are these terms, paramecia, logia, zoan, were they defined by, I don't know, like someone who really knows exactly how devil fruits work? Or are these just sort of categories that develop naturally over time as, like, the people of the One Piece world just sort of witnessed how devil fruits work, and so they kind of artificially categorize them on the human side?
I feel like if we ever learn if, like, Vegapunk wrote a book about devil fruits or something, then we'll know that there is, like, science reasoning behind the different classes. And I'm just going to assume right now, I haven't looked in the to see if there's, like, confirmation of this, but I feel like Logias can, like, they can have their arm made of whatever, break off, and then grow back another one. Because I've seen Aokiji, like, have himself shattered to, like, a tiny shard of ice, not ice, and then come back. So if Luffy was a Logia, you wouldn't be able to cut off his arm. He would be able to cut off his arm and then grow it back, sort of stretch it out, which would be weird, and I don't think that's how it is.
To go back to my, like, obsessive days when I was a young man, like, the way it works is, remember when Luffy in Alabasta hit both, not just Ace, but Smoker and Ace at the same time when he rocketed into that restaurant and smashed both of them, like, through a bunch of walls and shit? Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So that happened, and that was not one, but two Logia users being actually hit in their bodies at the same time by Luffy. So, and what we sort of learned through that is that, and this has been, I think, put down in stone in other places, you can, if you attack a Logia, like, at any normal time, you can hurt them if you just catch them off guard, because they have to sort of flip the switch to turn themselves into their element, because if you hit a Logia user's actual body, they take damage. It's only when they activate their power so that, like, the thing that you're hitting becomes the element that it can kind of phase through. And that's been consistent throughout the thing. And actually, the one element that always confused people was that Crocodile specifically has a unique thing, because he is a Sand Logia, of course. He had a unique ability where he had trained his Devil Fruit to such levels that even when caught off guard by attacks, he had trained himself to instinctively, upon being hit by something, turn on his Logia switch, as it were. And so he, like, basically you cannot surprise Crocodile specifically with attacks. Like, if Luffy had hit him in that Alabasta restaurant, he would have just turned into sand. But because Smoker and Ace had not, like, trained themselves and gained that special extra ability, they were able to be hit off guard. So, oh man, we're going into the fucking weeds now about this shit.
So,
like, yeah,
that's interesting. It's like I'm always angry, you know? It's like it's always
Kinda.
got his power.
I mean, I really like that about Crocodile. It really enhances his character as, like,
I like the fact that you can
big...
train your Devil Fruit to do that.
Well, it seemed like it was more of a training of himself mentally as opposed to doing it with the
like
fruit.
Training to be, like, at the split second, be able to go sandy.
It's also good because it really enhances, like, you know, Crocodile, a.k.a. Mr. Zero, his whole, like, hyper-paranoid, like, secretive mob boss Illuminati shit going on. Like, it's in character with a guy who did that. Like, he would prepare to this degree to deal with situations like this. Yeah, that's really great. Crocodile's a fucking fantastic character. I hope he comes back soon. But I just want to say, like, I wouldn't normally go into this minutia. Like, these are all facts that are generally true, that are, like, canon, but I only bring this up because I would have just assumed that Katakuri is a Logia. It was just specifically said by the creators of One Piece. They went out of their way to bring up this question by specifically clarifying, oh, no. Katakuri is a special paramecia, despite how it looks.
Oh, so Oda said that.
It was in some data book. I don't remember which one exactly, but it was specifically clarified by One Piece canon law books that he has a special paramecia fruit.
I mean, if Oda said that himself, then there. I mean, I don't know who.
Dude, we have to trust
those
we
data
have to
books.
trust the data books. If we can't trust the data books, we can't trust anything. That we have to rely on them.
I don't give a shit.
Okay, you know what? The point's been made. His status is a little bit strange. I hope they'll define it in the future. Okay, let's move on. Luffy punches him a bunch. That's what all that was about.
Luffy punches him, and then everyone else, Pedro, Carrot, Jinbei, everyone is on the ship, I guess, even though they're fighting and running from Big Mom. So it's a very hectic time.
Yes.
Pedro says to Carrot, these guys are pretty cool, huh? And she's like, yeah, they're pretty cool. And, I don't know, fucking some sort of prophecy about people.
Yeah, they're slipping that one in there. I don't remember anything about that before.
I think it was mentioned when back on Zo.
I think you actually might be right. Okay, we'll just assume that.
But yeah, now we got all the battleships with the other Big Mom pirates are coming into play. And it's looking like everybody's going to be fucking stuck.
Lady Amande is on screen for one panel. I guess.
There she is.
Oh, big hat, the biggest of hats. Oh, I love her so. Oh, by the way, everybody, you know how Lady Amande looks really fucked up and she's like a weird tall freak? As it turns out, there's an explanation for that. Lady Amande, I believe, is a half snake neck, which, if you remember way back in the day, there was that auction house list. When they were on Shabon Archipelago that showed all these different races that we've now seen, like dwarves, long legs, triple arm guys like Scratchman Apu. There was also one for snake necks. And I believe in that same data book that information about Katakuri was there, about his devil fruit. There was also a notation that Lady Amande is in fact a half... Is she a half? No. She is a full snake neck member of the Big Mom Pirates crew. And Big Mom also has, like, if you look at some of her other crew members, they also have this similar kind of, like, weird, long-ass neck, tall, thin thing going on. She has some half-snake neck daughters, I believe, as well. Or at least one. So, how about that shit? Isn't that cool?
That is cool.
She is not a human. She is not a human.
Yeah, that's... I've been thinking about this a little bit. Because the races come up quite a bit, They
do.
And especially with Big Mom and the whole thing.
Oh, she's a member of it's called the Snake Neck Tribe. It's called the Snake Neck Tribe.
Snake Neck Tribe.
Yeah.
Like, it's just really interesting that there are so many races in One Piece, like humanoid races. And it makes sense based on the way that the world is just so completely radically different island to island in the Grand Line. Like, there's so many fucked up environments that the idea of so many different, like weird races just evolving on this planet, it just makes sense. It's
yeah,
cool.
Man, it's great. I absolutely love it. And look at this picture I just sent you of her. Oh, she's a cutie. Oh, I love her. She's my favorite. Her hat is so fucking big, dude. Oh, I love her in every way.
She's like that.
She's so beautiful. I love her.
Are you just Googling her?
Yeah, I Googled her to get that picture. And I'm just looking. There's a gif of her smoking a cigarette, being a sexy motherfucker. I love her so fucking much. She's great. This is another one of these great diverse body types of women in One Piece, guys. It's not just about the Namis and the Vivis, and you could even say the Robins.
It's about having a big hat.
It's about having a big fucking hat and a tall ass skinny body. Oh, I love it. And there's her, there's Sandersonia, there's Queen Otohime. Oh, there's diverse, lovely women in One Piece, everybody. Unlike fucking Fairy Tail. This is the point I'm trying to make. Fuck Fairy Tail. This is good. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. There we go.
There's a funny little panel of Nami bringing the cola to the thing. She's this is a big barrel and she's struggling because she's small.
Fucking do your deadlifts, Nami. Get your squats on. Lift that shit.
So yeah, they're trying. Even though like Prospero and Berserk are still on the ship, they're gonna try and.
Yeah.
They're gonna try to use the coup de burst, but suddenly the ship
Which
is
good
covered
because
in
I was saying they should do that, so I'm glad they're thinking of that.
It's the most logical sense, but there's candy all around the ship. Prospero has to die. Something has to happen.
Something needs to happen.
Something needs to happen, and Big Mom's there and fucking everything. And then here's the thing. Pedro is my favorite ISIS member of all time. Blows him the fuck away.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Did not see that one coming. I remember, he had showed off that big old dynamite shit before, but he goes full ISIS right now.
You would have thought that
just like ISIS, he's the real fucking hero of this story. He's fucking killing it.
Well,
He's
you
killing
would've
it.
thought-
It being himself. He fucking blew up. He's a bomb.
If you look at the size of the explosion next to, you could see the ship.
Yeah.
In that same panel. How far away would he? I don't get how.
You know, I'm looking at the logistics here. So if you go back one page, you can see Prospero kind of far away from the ship a little bit. You can see him like standing off, kind of far away from Big Mom.
All right.
So I don't know when he got that far away, but he had. And then Pedro, knowing that something needs to be done about this situation, goes and blows him the fuck up. Now, I just want to say, guys, so as we all remember the infamous day of Pell, where Pell did a similar sort of thing here, and he picked up a bomb, he flew into the sky, it blew up in his fucking face, and he was just fine. Like, a couple days later, he was in no worries whatsoever. So, this strikes me as a similar situation. Pedro brought the bombs himself and is coated in dynamite all over his body. Here he is, firing that Chekhov's gun, blowing himself the fuck up to defeat Prospero, who does look a little bit spooked. I just want to say, I do not see Prospero going out like this. I don't think this is going to be as straightforward as it looks.
Yeah, I
think
mean,
Pedro will be fine too. I think he'll be okay.
Yeah, it's weird because he's already kind of done this in this arc. He had bombs,
did it already,
and he was
I forgot.
He was already planning to die. He was planning to die on this voyage, and
this
he
motherfucker
tried
wants
to
die so bad.
He tried to die earlier fighting Chicken Man.
Yes.
And he blew a big bomb, and he went big boom.
He went big boom. There's no doubt. I remember.
But they grabbed him and put him in the mirror, and he's like, "Oh, I'm trying to kill myself, but I guess I'll just kill myself again." And here he is doing it, and the fact that it's the second time is kind of diminishes the gesture a little bit.
Exactly. It really does, which is why I'm suspicious as to this. And you know, like, it's not like he had like a couple pages being like, Pedro, you were such a hero. We remember you. You won't be forgotten. It's like in one page he goes from like fight. Okay, I'm gonna blow myself up now. Bye. And then he fucking does it. I just don't see this sticking. I don't see it sticking.
Yeah, it's a bit too sudden, and because like it almost feels like it's supposed to be, because like they have no way out, and they need this guy to, you need somebody to kill Pedro.
They got to deal with Prospero. Yeah.
Prospero.
Mm-hmm.
It feels almost like the Mr. 2 moment at Impel Down, where he sacrifices himself to let everybody have the chance to get away. But it's so not built up at all that I don't know what to feel.
To me, the two most annoying moments in all of One Piece thus far were, one, when Pell came back and was just fine. It was like, what the actual fuck was all that hype for before? If this shit was just gonna happen. Like, literally a waste of my time. And then second was when Mr. 2 was just revealed to be fine in that cover arc, and he, faced no consequences and just ruling Kamabaka Kingdom, or whatever it's called, Okama Land. It was terrible. That should not... He should have just died.
I don't find that to be that... He should have...
He fucking faced Magellan one-on-one. Tell me how he got out of that. It doesn't make any sense. Like, it breaks... I feel like it breaks the contract that I have with Oda in terms of believability. And, like, to do something like that, it's asking too much of my credulity. I can't... Like, I can deal with a lot, but I expect... some level of consistency here. And I feel like those two moments especially kind of broke our contract. That's how I feel. I'm not saying it makes One Piece bad or anything. I just think those were, not
I don't hate that cover arc bit too much. Mostly because it still means he's in jail and probably forever.
Well, you know what?
Never gonna be out.
I don't mind. In fact, I actually like a lot that I feel like Mr. 2's destiny was to become like the ruler of Kamabaka. No, wait, that's the kingdom that Ivankov rules. It's like Okama Land or whatever, like the place in the jail. I like him being there.
Platform 9 3/4.
Exactly, like floor 4.5 or whatever, 5.5, whatever it was. Yeah, like I like him there as a character arc for him, and then maybe he can come back at like the end of One Piece for like the Great War, which I'm pretty confident will happen. That's dope. I look forward to that, but I just don't like the way that they arrived at that situation. Like, there should have been some way for me to believe that Mr. 2 could get away, and it really, I don't feel like there was an avenue there. Or at the very least, they should have explored that more. Oda should have given us some ideas, because it really seemed like he was just done. Like, it was over for this guy. And Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. Oh, you know what I think people say? I think people say that Blackbeard probably showed up right then because he had there had been a thing with Blackbeard right then. It's possible Blackbeard showed up and beat up Magellan right then and there and saved Mr. Two, but we didn't see it. You know.
If he beat Magellan, why did Mr. Two stay in Impel Down?
Couldn't tag along with Blackbeard and there were no other ships? I don't know. I'm not sure.
I don't know. Maybe. Well,
I mean, maybe he might have needed to recover. Yeah, we could speculate all day. I don't know. By the way, I really like that even at this last page here, Prospero made a big deal of how much suffering Brooke and Chopper are going through right now by being candified. And, even on the last page, we see the two of them just, quivering in, agony as everyone else is just, doing this other shit. And they're just like, oh, God, please, someone fucking help me. I'm literally dying right now. It's both funny and grim, and I like that combination a lot. It's very amusing to me. And Brooke does look like a lollipop. I like that. He's good. He's a good boy.
I like it when Oda draws the shiny stuff, like when Nami got all soapy. That looked cool.
Ooh, baby boy. Are you talking about when she got raped by Absalom, or when she was fighting Khalifa?
No, Khalifa.
Right. Okay, soap fight. I remember.
She got all shiny and stuff.
My shiny bitch and me. Fairly Odd Parents reference. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I hated that because it smoothed her boobs out and into nothingness.
Yes, true. But
it was hilarious.
What another cool idea for a devil fruit power. Soap power that, drains people of power because it, cleans away power. And, it's kind of JoJo-esque in, okay, I'm not really following the logic of, exactly how this power works right now, but it doesn't matter because it's consistent and it's interesting and it's entertaining. That's what really matters. And, good shit, man. Yeah. Fucking good shit.
Well, let's talk a little bit more about Pedro.
Okay.
Who is he?
What's the deal with this guy?
What's
even
his
deal
with this guy?
I don't know. What do you think?
I've always been a bit weirded out from the fact that he wasn't around during the actual arc of Zoe, and he just appeared at the end saying, "I'm gonna go with you."
Yeah, he showed up
and now
once
he's
or twice
dead.
as a reconnaissance
or maybe
guy.
not dead.
Yeah, I always felt like Carrot is actually less offensive because Carrot's tagged along. She hasn't really done anything, but again, she hasn't really done anything, so she hasn't obtruded into the storyline in any way. I feel like she's here kind of for this moment to be the one who kind of cares about Pedro. But Pedro here, he's a character who I actually don't care about because he hasn't really done much, and I haven't felt like I've taken the time to get to know this guy. He's someone who feels kind of shoehorned into the situation. And even with his drama with, Baron Tamago, and with his history with Big Mom, the most interesting thing about Pedro is the fact that he has had all the time from his life stolen by Big Mom. And, I assume that during this arc at some point, there would have to be a time where Pedro either died, as might have happened just now, or he gets more life given to him by Big Mom, which I still think is going to happen. So his arc is not yet complete in my eyes, I don't think.
Yeah.
But I do feel like he was shoehorned. I never really cared about him, and I struggle to be that concerned.
The only reason I don't, really dislike him is that he looks pretty cool. He's got those big black cat lips.
Spots. Yeah, oh, sure, right. That's true.
Because you see furries and they don't have that for some reason. They just have normal mouths. But he looks like an actual cat nose face guy, and I'm like, that's good.
Yeah, I like that. Like Absalom's face back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really annoyed by the character at all. I just think that he's underutilized for for a moment like this that might be the peak of his relevance and his significance. I'm not really that invested in him, and this doesn't really concern me that well. So I would call that sort of a failure of the narrative to make him more interesting up to this point, I guess. Or maybe something cool's about to happen with him now. Right now I'm paying attention to what Pedro is doing. This is an interesting thing. Maybe something cool will happen as a result of this, even though it sort of feels like a final moment. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not annoyed by the character, but he feels a bit thin.
I think you're right about Carrot being here, because she's crying. She obviously kind of likes him, or has some sort of history with him because minks and stuff.
She's here to be the mink that does care about Pedro,
the mink
understandably.
that lives to tell the tale.
Yeah. And Carrot is an inoffensive character to me who hasn't done anything annoying, who could still do something cool, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, I feel like she's here for Pedro's arc, which has not been that great. So she kind of suffers because Pedro has not been that interesting either. So it's kind of like, why the fuck is Carrot here? For this other guy who's not that interesting either? Oh, well, that's two characters that I don't care about, really. At least Carrot is cute, though. I like that. They're both attractive looking. They're both attractive looking in their own ways.
I would also fuck Pedro, yes. Attractive as fuck.
I'd fuck him in his eye hole. He's missing that eyeball. I'd give him a skull fuck, as they say. If you understand the lingo, the advanced lingo I'm using right now.
If you know what I mean, wink. I will have sex with him if you know what that means.
Yes, I think I do. Well, that's the end of the chapter, I think. And guess what, folks? No chapter next week. Oda feels like saying, fuck you next week.
Fuck you to the podcast. I hate that podcast. I wish it would stop, but I just gotta keep making manga chapters.
Every day when he sits down, he's like, oh, okay, time to draw One Piece. But God damn it, those guys are going to make a fucking podcast episode. It pisses me off. What can I do to shut them down? And sometimes he just has to take a week off. I'm sorry, Oda, our arch nemesis. One day we will crush you under the vast popularity of the podcast, which will overshadow One Piece any day now, imminently.
Any day now.
It's very exciting stuff. Stay tuned for our victory over One Piece, everybody. When we get One Piece, and One Piece is going to be Oda drawing, and we're going to beat him up on Raftel. That's what it's going to be. And he's going to be like, fuck you guys. And we'll say, shut up, nerd. And we take his pencil and break it. Yes.
Dude, what if they find One Piece, dude, and it's One Piece the manga, dude?
Whoa! Dude! That'll be nuts. And then Luffy will read it, and like he'll pick up the last volume and look at it. Well, okay, Luffy can't read, but what's her name? Fucking Nico Robin, my wife, will pick it up and read the last volume.
The only one who can read.
The only one who can read, and she'll open to the last page, and it'll be the page of her looking at that page, and then she'll look up at the camera, and we'll see the page that she's looking up, and then she'll look back. And she'll just do that forever, and it'll be an infinitely long volume as she looks back.
And it'll be like an infinite mirror of just Robin's face, and that's the last panel.
Oh, that's all I've ever wanted in life. It sounds perfect. That's the ending I want. And there you go, everybody. That's it. Big Pedro went big boom, and we'll just have to see how this resolves next chapter.
Yep.
All right, thanks for listening, everybody, and we'll see you then. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.